Today, January 18th, 2021, is Martin Luther King Jr. Day. The Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King's struggle against racial discrimination came to national attention in 1955 when he led a boycott protesting the odious Jim Crow laws that required blacks and whites to sit in separate sections on buses. He was jailed and physically attacked. His home was bombed, but in 1956, the Supreme Court declared such laws unconstitutional. In 1963, King delivered his famous I Have a Dream speech before 250,000 people during the peaceful march on Washington, D.C. The next year, he became the youngest man at the age of 35 to win the Nobel Peace Prize. Now, he continued fighting for civil rights and against poverty until an assassin's bullet ended his life on April 4th, 1968. At Columbia High School, we honor Martin Luther King for his persistence in the fight for civil rights. And last week, I met with Mr. Willard, our 10th grade assistant principal, and our English teacher extraordinaire, Mr. Whitaker, to decide exactly which speech we wanted to highlight. Now, of course, his 1963 I Have a Dream speech came up. It is, after all, extremely popular with Americans because Americans remember the references of judging people by the content of their character and those colorful phrases like the table of brotherhood. Yet most Americans forget that in that same speech, King said that the whirlwinds of revolt will continue to shake the foundations of our nation until the bright day of justice emerges. You see, Americans today forget how unpopular Dr. Martin Luther King was then. Yes, it was great that he hoped we could create a society in which his children would be judged by the content of their character. But to get there, he knew we had to make people uncomfortable. King had to speak truth to power, and when necessary, he used such phrases and words like terror and revolt to remind the powers that be that he wasn't asking, but that in fact, Black America was demanding. This dichotomy of the popular king of today and the unpopular king of yesterday could be seen, and it reminds me of the controversy of the creation of the Martin Luther King Memorial and Monument just a few years ago. You see, 15 years ago, an all-white commission in Washington was shocked and really upset by the statue, the plan for the statue. You see, they picked this photograph, you can see it to the right, that they wanted, the way they wanted King to look like. A more philosophical King, a pensive Dr. Martin Luther King. They didn't want an angry King, they said. It was interesting because Dr. King's nephew once retorted and said, "What do you think he was doing this whole time?" The commission relented. And I would argue, right, is that this memorial portrays King as he was, strong and fierce. And that is why Mr. Whitaker and Mr. Willard chose King's words from his last few months of life. Because you see, on February 1st, 1968, two sanitation workers in Memphis took shelter from torrential rains in the back of their garbage truck. As they rode in the back of the truck, an electrical switch malfunctioned. The compactor turned on. And those sanitation workers, Mr. Cole and Mr. Walker, were crushed by the garbage truck compactor. Now, the Public Works Department of Memphis refused to compensate their families. And so 11 days after their deaths, as many as 1,300 black sanitation workers walked off their job, protesting the horrible working conditions, abuse, racism, and discrimination by the city of Memphis. The men there had worked long hours for low wages, with no overtime pay, no paid sick leave. Injuries on the job could lead them to getting fired. If men didn't work, they didn't get paid. Most of them made only 65 cents per hour. That is why Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. came to Memphis. That is why these protesters held signs that said, "I am a man." They wanted the city to honor their work and to honor their dignity.
You are demanding that this city will respect the dignity of labor. So often we overlook the worth and the significance of those who are not in professional jobs, of those who are not in the so-called big jobs. But let me say to you tonight that whenever you are engaged in work that serves humanity and is for the building of humanity, it has dignity and it has worth. One day our society must come to see this. One day our society will come to respect the sanitation worker if it is to survive, for the person who picks up our garbage as in the final analysis is as significant as the physician, for if he doesn't do his job, disease is rampant. All labor has dignity.
That speech was given on March 18th, 1968. He spoke to more than 25,000 people that day. He said, "You are reminding not only Memphis, but you are reminding the nation that it is a crime for people to live in this rich nation and receive starvation wages." King insisted that there could be no civil rights without economic equality. He continued, "You are here tonight to demand that Memphis do something about the conditions that our brothers face as they work day in and day out for the well-being of the total community. You are here to demand that Memphis will see the poor." A little more than 10 days later, Dr. Martin Luther King was assassinated. Yet today, that message for dignity echoes on. "I am a man" has become Black Lives Matter. To learn more about this part of King's legacy, you can watch this New York Times mini documentary on the Memphis sanitation workers, and you can read the entire speech that Mr. Whitaker and Mr. Willard have selected for you.